I think very few societies in the world experience this kind of dynamic change. China's gone through immense changes, but I think Korea has done it more successfully than most. This dynamism, this commitment, but also the sense of history.
Wow, like the struggle that this country and its people have been through.
합격률 0.8%, 하버드보다 들어가기 힘들다는 미네르바 스쿨. 7개의 나라를 돌아다니며 교육을 받는 독특한 수업 방식으로 유명한 학교인데요. 이 미네르바 스쿨에 재학 중인 영국 여대생 제이드는 한국에서의 수업 첫날 서대문 형무소에 갔다가 큰 충격을 받았다고 합니다. 그리고는 전 세계, 특히 영국은 한국을 보고 배워야 한다 라고 일침을 날렸다는데요. 도대체 무엇 때문인지 함께 보실까요?
Today's one was only available for 10 students, and I got on Korea, a path to democracy, road to democracy, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Learning how South Korea became South Korea as we know it today. We started at Sodaemun prison. This prison was used by the Japanese in colonial times against Korean liberation activists. I don't know if you know, but Japan colonized Korea. It was extremely brutal. It caused so many issues in the country, so many human rights issues. It also paved the way for the Civil War and what now has become North Korea and South Korea. Wow, this prison was heavy. We went down into the prison, we heard the stories of prisoners, we saw some of the torture methods. I'm not going to detail the torture methods for you. I felt physically sick when they were describing them. It was such a haunting experience. One of the main points of the day is just wow, like the struggle that this country and its people have been through to get the South Korea that I get to experience today. We toured the palace, we learned about the Choson dynasty, we toured particular churches which were particularly important in the independence movement. All of that was amazing and I learned a lot through this. What really solidified the experience, we had a 2-hour discussion, debate around certain questions about democracy. What does a liberal democracy mean? What is an illiberal democracy? Also, one of the main things I've been thinking about today, how history is always told from the perspective of the winners. Like in history textbooks, which are approved by the government and shape the national identity and form of nationalism that they want. We have selective amnesia, where a country selectively forgets less favorable aspects of its history, prioritize a certain national identity, the way they want history told, etc. Like, I come from the UK, and the UK has the darkest history, particularly the colonial period. Why on earth is that not taught to us in schools? What? Coming to this university with people from everywhere and having to say, yeah, we didn't really cover the colonization of your country. They just didn't feel it was important to educate us on it, you know? How the world came to be, how so many countries had their countries stolen from them, people killed. Like, the UK has such a bloody history and they hide it so well. UK government, please.
이처럼 역사를 되돌아보는 것, 미래 세대를 위해 과거를 반성하고 잘못된 이데올로기를 버리는 것, 그러한 교육의 중요성을 뼈저리게 깨달았다는 제이드. 한국이 일제강점기, 한국전쟁, 독재정권 등 수많은 고난과 역경을 극복해낼 수 있었던 힘에는 끊임없는 저항정신과 과거를 잊지 않고 되새기는 역사 인식이 있었기 때문이라고 강조했죠.
Yeah, days like today make me feel like, damn, Jade, you know absolutely nothing. You need to learn so much more about the world. This country's been through hell to get to where it is today, to have the kind of democracy that it has today. Also, how mind-blowing that South Korea, in just 60 years, came from a literal civil war, came out of the Korean War, a lot of economic issues, poverty, etc., and in 60 years has become this like major powerhouse city, hub of economic development in East Asia. It's insane. South Korea's finally got out of war and colonization and issues. Let people enjoy this economic development. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful evening.
뒤이어 제이드는 역사를 잊지 마세요. 그것이 당신의 나라, 곧 당신의 정체성이라고 할 수 있습니다. 라면서 영상을 마무리했는데요. 역사를 잊은 민족에게 미래는 없다는 말이 있죠. 영국은 반성하라며 청원까지 넣었다는 제이드. 기록의 민족 한국인들의 남다른 역사인식과 독립운동, 민주화운동 등 국난을 맞닥뜨렸을 때 한국인들이 투쟁했던 흔적을 보면서 많은 깨달음을 얻었나 봅니다. 제이드보다 앞서 일찍이 이러한 한국인들의 놀라운 특징을 이해하고 깊이 있게 연구한 미국인 교수가 있습니다. 하버드 세계사 강연회에서 한국과 일본의 진실을 알린 역사학자이자 동아시아 역사의 권위자인 에드워드 슐츠 교수. 그 역시 한 강연에서 한국인들의 역사 사랑과 기록에 대한 열정을 말한 적이 있는데요.
Essentially, I've had a love affair with Korea, and I was almost immediately struck by its history. One of the first things that I've noticed really stood out for me about Korea was the Koreans and their passion for history, their love for history. their interest in history. Earliest times on, Koreans were writing histories. And it's just staggering the amount that was written. Staggering in part because we've lost so much of that history as well. The earliest extant history we have now is called the History of the Three Kingdoms. And that was written in 1145. But if you read these histories, they mention the countless number of other histories that also were written. And so you get a taste how rich the past must have been, how rich the archives must have been, which have now been lost.
우리 선조들의 기록에 대한 집착은 알아줘야 하죠. 조선시대 왕이 말을 타다 떨어지면서 이것은 적지 말라라고 했던 말까지 기록한 사관의 이야기까지 전해질 정도이니 과연 기록의 나라답다는 생각이 듭니다. 그리고 에드워드 슐츠 교수는 해당 강연에서 한국인들의 두 번째 특징에 대해서도 말했는데요. 그것은 바로 외세의 침략에 하나로 뭉쳐 싸운 한국인들의 저항 정신입니다.
Resistance is certainly one of the key themes that we find in Korean history. This is the way the Koreans were developed. An identity unique within East Asia. Now, of course, when we talk about resistance, probably the most famous, Yi Sun-shin. But realize, besides these heroes, there were the average people, common people who came forward to the defense of their kingdoms, who also deserve to be written down as heroes. Their names have been lost to history, but they nevertheless played the key role keeping Korea a separate, identifiable state.
이와 같은 에드워드 슐츠 교수의 말대로 오늘날까지 역사를 잊지 않는 민족이자 나라가 어려울 때마다 하나 된 마음으로 힘을 합쳐 이겨내는 한국인들, 이러한 우리 국민들이 있기에 앞으로 그 어떠한 위기가 닥쳐도 지금까지 그래왔던 것처럼 결국은 극복하고 계속해서 성장해 나갈 것임을 믿어 의심치 않습니다. 지금까지 얼큰한 뉴스였습니다. 감사합니다.